Hi students. So today I'll be teaching you Tithonus by Alfred Lord Tennyson, which is prescribed for your class 12th ICSE examination, and it is a wonderful poem. So let's begin. When I'm talking about Tithonus, he was a lover to Eos, and Tithonus was a normal human being. He was a mortal. Okay, and Eos is a goddess. She would never die. So Tithonus asks Eos to grant her the wish of grant her the blessing of immortality, to be alive forever, and Eos does that. Okay, but what happens is that Tithonus, although he is immortal, he forgets to ask for the blessing of remaining forever young. So he does age, and he keeps on aging, and he becomes very weak and very withered as time passes by. He becomes very weak, very aged, very ugly, okay, very fragile, okay, and he's no longer the same Tithonus that he once was. And what happens next, you will get to know in the upcoming video, in the third part of this series. So for that you can stay connected, and let's get on to the poem. Alright, so let's first look at this first stanza of our poem. Stanza 1. The woods decay and fall. The vapors weep their burden to the ground. You can write down woods means a small forest. Okay. Decay, you must know, to decay means to rot. And the woods decay and fall. Basically, the trees in the forest, they decay, they rot, and they fall. Falling is equal to dying. They fall means they die. Okay. So the trees in the forest, they decay, they rot, and die. So basically, they follow a life cycle. Okay. You understand life cycle, right? The idea of birth, and then going through the different phases of life, then getting old eventually, and then dying. Okay, this is the normal life cycle, as you may all know, of every organism. The vapors weep their burden to the ground. So vapors, you can write down, means mists. Weep their burden means burden on the ground. This means that the mist, the water which had once evaporated from the ground, it falls back onto the ground in the form of water droplets. So the vapors, the mist, or even you can say the clouds, okay, through rain they cry out their burden, they release their burden in the form of water droplets to the ground. In simple language, that when it rains, the mists, vapors, or even we can say clouds, release their burden, that is water droplets, to the ground. So can you see over here that just like the woods, they are following a life cycle, and the vapors, the second line, it is talking about water cycle. How water, once the water that had evaporated from rivers and various water bodies, it moves up to the sky in the form of mist, in the form of vapors, and then it falls back onto the earth in the form of water droplets. Okay, Man comes and tills the field and lies beneath. Man means over here human beings. What does coming mean over here? Comes means is born, basically. He's saying that human being is born. So man, we can say a human being. Born. Tills the field, that means plows the field. That is working on the field, okay, to grow, to cultivating it, to grow crops on it, to grow various crops and all the kinds of plants, vegetables, crops, etc. onto it. And lies beneath. Lying beneath refers to death. How does it refer to death? When a person dies in Christian faith, in Islam, when a person dies, their body is not cremated, unlike Hinduism. We all know that in Christian belief, a body is not cremated. A dead body is not cremated. It is rather buried. Okay. So when a person dies, their body is buried beneath the soil, beneath the ground. So a man is born. He works on the field, plows the field, and lies beneath. He lies beneath the same field. Not to say that he lies or he's buried beneath the same field that he was working on, but it is a way of saying that a man who has spent his entire life in tilling a field, in tilling soil, in tilling the ground, eventually ends up getting buried beneath the ground itself. So this is basically birth, youth, and eventual death. So this is again life cycle. So a human being also follows a certain life cycle. And after many a summer dies the swan. Swan is a bird, as you all know, and it is a beautiful creature. So the poet means to say that after many a summer, that is after many a summer means many years. After many years, the swan also dies. So even such a beautiful creature that lives for many years has to eventually die. Again, it is also following a life cycle. Me only cruel immortality consumes. Now Tithonus is basically talking about himself. The poet of this poem is Alfred Lord Tennyson. The speaker of this poem is Tithonus. He says that I am the only one whom this cruel immortality consumes, that is, eats away. I am the only unlucky person whom this cruel immortality eats away. I am the only unlucky person who has to live forever, who is doomed to be an immortal being. I wither slowly in thine arms. Whose arms? So the speaker is Tithonus and the listener is Eos. Thine means your arms, and wither. Wither basically means, it's a verb, it means to become weaker and eventually disappear. To become weaker and disappear, to become, which means you will grow weaker and weaker, and then eventually you will be disappearing. Okay, so he has become very weak. It is almost he's on the verge of completely vanishing, but he cannot even vanish, he cannot even die, he cannot be completely erased. Why? And he cannot die. Why? Because he is an immortal, which is for him, immortality is his misfortune. He is unlucky to be an immortal. This is what he says. So, all the examples that he gave before of the trees, of the woods, the vapors, the swan, or the normal human beings, all of them, according to Tithonus, are lucky because they can die and he cannot. So, I wither slowly in thine arms means I slowly become weaker and weaker and weaker still in your arms. Whose arms? Eos's arms. Here at the quiet limit of the world. Here at the quiet means silent, there is no noise. And for limit, you can write down silent end of the world, silent corner of the world. So, here at the silent corner of the world, he is talking about the place that he is living in, the place of his residence. He is saying that here, where I am present, which is a quiet corner or quiet end of the world, a white-haired shadow roaming like a dream. So he calls himself a white-haired shadow. White-haired, why? Because he has grown very, very old. Okay, he is ancient now. He has grown very, very old, and he's like a shadow, and he's roaming like a dream. He's wandering like a dream. This indicates that Tithonus is he no longer considers himself a living being anymore. For him, he is like a shadow, like a dream, who is aimlessly wandering here and there. The ever silent spaces of the East. Okay, so these four lines, far folded mists and gleaming halls of morn. The ever silent spaces of the East. So where does Eos reside? Where does Eos live? And where is Tithonus living? He is living on the eastern side because the sun rises from the east. So naturally, east is the corner from where the goddess of dawn, before sunrise, the goddess of dawn will emerge from the east. And slowly, as she will move across the sky, the darkness will be eliminated. So, east is her residence, from where she comes and enters and rides across the sky on her chariot. And that is why Tithonus is wandering about in east, in the eastern corner, because he lives in the east with Eos. The ever silent spaces of the east. Spaces basically means spaces basically refers to the you can say the palace. Okay, the palace or the this basically means that he is talking about when he says the ever silent spaces of the east, he means that uh, the spaces in the east, the basically the eastern side is where Eos resides, and the spaces of the east basically means that he is roaming around. So he's wandering. So he is wandering about in the spaces of the east. That means the various parts of the east, the various corners of the east in which Eos resides. So basically, in which there is the palace of Eos. So he is wandering about in the palace, in the various corners, spaces of the palace of Eos in the eastern part of the world, in the eastern corner of the world. Far folded mists and gleaming halls of morn. Far folded mist means layers of mists. Okay. Far folded mist basically means that a lot of mist, so much mist that there are layers upon layers of mist. And gleaming halls of morn. Morn means morning, and gleaming you can write down shining. It basically means that he is describing the eastern corner, which is the residence of Eos, that her palace or her residence in the east, it is covered with, it is surrounded with mist upon mist, layers of mist, and it is surrounded by the shining halls of morning, means the shine of morning, the glow of morning. Because Eos is associated with dawn, and what do we see in the early hours of morning when the sun has not risen? We see mist, we see dew, we see uh, that bright glow of the morning in the morning sky. Okay, it is not too hot, it is not very, very bright, but that beautiful glowing shine in the sky that we see, that is what Eos is associated with, and that is why her residence in the east has been associated with this mist and gleaming halls of morn. Which means these four stanzas, if you combine them together, it means that he is talking about himself, that he is roaming about like a shadow, a dream. He's roaming, he's wandering across the eastern corner of the world that is quiet, that has layers of mist, that has the gleaming, beautiful glow that is associated with morning, and it is the residence of Eos and the place where her palace is located. Okay, so he's wandering about the ever silent spaces of the east, which means the corners of the east, the various parts of east in which her Eos's palace is also naturally located. This is where she resides. Alas for this grey shadow, once a man, so glorious in his beauty and thy choice. So now he says, alas. By alas, we mean that he is through alas, he is showing his disappointment. He is not very happy with his situation. He is not very happy with his current position. He is also nostalgic about the glorious past that he once lived, but then he's also very, very disappointed with his present. So he says, alas, alas for this grey shadow. Now, grey shadow, who is grey shadow? Again, it is Tithonus. He is talking about himself. He says that once a man. So he says that now I have been, now I have turned into a grey shadow, into a shadowy figure. Now I have sort of disintegrated, rotten, withered away, and become a shadowy figure. He has withered. He has grown old. So he has withered, that is grown weaker and weaker. He has grown old. And now he has completely turned into a figure that is like a shadow. He has become a shadow. He is no longer a beautiful, glorious, brave, not he is no longer a beautiful, a handsome man, a charming man. He is now a shadow. But he says, I was, alas, for this grey shadow, once a man. This grey shadow, which was once a man. I was once a man. What kind of a man was he? He was so glorious in his beauty and thy choice. He says that I was once a man who was so glorious in beauty and in luck. Who madest him thy chosen, that he was chosen by you. I was so glorious in beauty and in luck, which means I was so beautiful. I was so lucky that I was once chosen by you. I was your chosen. That he seemed to his great heart none other than a god. Since a goddess had chosen me, since a goddess liked me, a goddess wished to be with me, I felt in my great heart, to my great heart, my puffed up heart, my proud heart, felt as if I was no less than a god. So I was so filled with pride that I began thinking that I was no less than a god. I am no. I used to think that way when I was young, beautiful. I was chosen by you, a goddess. So, what happened was that out of pride, my heart started feeling as if I was no less than a god. So, he is remembering the good old days. This is nostalgia. He is remembering the good old days when he used to be very young, beautiful, and he was so beautiful that the goddess Eos herself became his lover. She fell in love with him. I asked thee, give me immortality. So now Tithonus narrates at the time. He tells us, or basically he is talking to Eos, and he is remembering those days, and he's saying that I used to be very young, used to be very proud of myself, that I was chosen by a goddess, and I felt like I was a god myself. Then he goes on to say what happens next, and he says that I asked thee. Thee means you. Whom? He asked Eos. So he asked Eos, give me immortality. So what did Tithonus ask of Eos? To give him immortality, to give him the blessing to never die. Immortality means eternal existence. It means to never die. So he is narrating his tale. He is reminding Eos of whatever happened in the past, and he says that I asked you to give me immortality out of pride, out of the out of my happiness, out of pride. I thought that I will live like this, forever young, forever beautiful, and forever with my lover, that is Eos, forever to be lucky to be living, to forever be lucky to live with my lover who is also a goddess, to be lucky forever and ever. In what manner? That I will be able to live with my lover and the goddess of dawn, Eos. So, out of pride, out of happiness, he asked Eos to grant him immortality. Then didst thou grant mine asking with a smile. Then you granted my wish, smiling with a smile. So, you did not reject my wish. You granted it to me. You granted me the blessing of immortality with a smile. And you were extremely casual about it. You did not mind giving such a great blessing to me. Like wealthy men who care not how they give. When you were giving me this wish, when you were granting my wish of immortality, you seemed like rich people, like wealthy men, who do not care how they give, who do not care when they give out monetary help to those in need. So you were like rich people who do not care to give money to needy people, who do not care when they hand out. Like wealthy people, like wealthy men who care not how they give. Like you were like rich people who do not care when they hand out money to those in need, or when they hand out money. Like wealthy men who care not how they give. So when she granted him the wish of immortality, when she granted him the blessing of remaining an immortal, of being an immortal, she was like rich people who care not how they give. So when somebody who is very rich, when they are giving out small amounts of money to maybe to someone who is in need, or whatever transactions that they are making, if they are giving out money, they do not care for such small sums of money. Because if someone is a billionaire, he will not care for 1,000 rupee note, or even for, like, if they're handing out 20,000, or say if someone's a billionaire and they're handing out even lakhs and crores. For some people it's a very small amount of money, so for them they won't care when they hand it out, or they perform certain monetary transactions, when they have to give out that money to needy or to whatever. They do not care about it. So in that same manner, since she was a goddess and this was such a small thing for her, such an easy blessing, that she gave it with a smile, and she did not mind granting him his wish of being an immortal, his wish for immortality. So you gave it away like rich people who do not care how they give, who do not care when handing out money, or in whatever way they have to give money, or giving money. So in that same manner, she did not care when she had to grant him that wish. Also, since it was such a casual sort of an interaction for her, and she very easily, smilingly, without any objection, she granted his wish, okay, without minding it, without a second thought, without minding it in any way. She did not mind it, okay. So she was not worried in any form or anything. So for her, this was such an easy gift to give away, but she also did not think about the consequences. She did not think of the consequences, that immortality and eternal youth are two very different things. To grant him immortality is fine, but without granting him the blessing of staying young forever, that is eternal youth, that immortality is useless. And even Tithonus did not think over what he was asking for. But thy strong hours indignant worked their wills. Indignant, you can in a way say that he is also complaining to, Eos. He does not understand that it is his failure as well, that he asked for such a wish, and now that he has to face the consequences, he is not happy, and he holds a lot of grudge. He holds a lot of complaint against Eos. He is complaining continuously, and he is blaming her in a way that that she granted him this wish so casually and without him thinking of the consequences. And in the later passages we will see, stanzas, we will see that he also starts saying things like, why would a man wish for such a thing as immortality? Why would he want to be unlike other men, other people who eventually die after a while? So he is sort of blaming Eos. He is sort of blaming his fortune, but he does not realize that it is his fault, mostly because of which he has to face such a thing. Okay. Indignant, you can write down. Indignant means, it is an adjective, it means shocked or angry because somebody has said or done something that you do not like or agree with. Now try to be very careful when listening when understanding these lines. But thy strong indignant hours indignant worked their wills and beat me down and marred and wasted me. And though they could not end me, left me maimed to dwell in presence of immortal youth. What does Tithonus mean over here? See, he says that your strong hours, he says that Eos's servants, the hours. Hours here means basically time. So he says that your servant, strong hours, because hour or time is very strong, very powerful. It has the capacity to change everything. So he says that your servants, the hours, they were indignant, they were shocked, they were angry because of your decision, that you so casually granted me the wish of immortality. So they were not happy with your decision. And what they did was they worked their wills. They worked as per their will, that is as per their wish, and beat me down and marred and wasted me. Beat me down means they injured me. Marred means they spoiled me. They injured me, spoiled me, and wasted me. Wasted means withered me. Withered me means again wither means to become weaker, and they withered me. Basically, they left me to become weaker and weaker. And though they could not though they could not end me, though THOUGH, okay. Though they could not end me, though they could not kill me, left me maimed. Even though time could not kill me, because I am an immortal being. I was given the blessing of immortality by you. So even though time could not kill me, it left me maimed. Maim means to hurt somebody so badly that part of their body can no longer be used. And left me maimed is basically left me utterly destroyed. It hurt me so badly that, or in simple language, you can say disfigured. It left me disfigured and aged. So basically, maim means to hurt somebody very badly so that their body, parts of their body or part of their body cannot even work properly. And left me maimed means, so they left me, so they hurt me so much. They left me in such a condition. So they hurt me so badly. It was as if I was left. So it was as if not time basically hurt me so badly. I was hurt so badly by the time, by the force of time, that I could not, I can't even function properly now. I'm sort of disfigured and aged. I'm aged and I cannot function properly. My body is not in the best position, in the best condition, in the same condition that it was when I was young. It is as if the various parts of my body are not functioning properly. So my entire body is not in its full, in its best condition. So his body is not in its best condition because several parts of his body are not functioning properly anymore. To dwell in presence of immortal youth. So time, even though it could not kill me, it left me spoiled, withered, that is weak. It withered me, wasted me. Withered me means wither is to become weak. So it left me weakened. I was weakened by time. I was spoiled by time. I was disfigured by time. I was injured by time. I was left aged. Even though it could not kill me, it left me utterly helpless, utterly aged, utterly disfigured, utterly withered. To dwell in presence of, and what worse than to live in such a condition beside someone who is forever young, forever beautiful. So not only was I utterly destroyed, time left me to live. Dwell means to live in the presence of an immortal youth. I was left to live in the presence of an immortal youth. Immortal youth means Eos. Eos, since she can never die and never grow old, so she is an immortal youth. And he was unlucky enough to be left to live by the side of an immortal youth, a goddess, in such a bad condition, that too. Immortal age beside immortal youth, and all I was in ashes. So he says that what is my present condition? I am in immortal age, left to reside beside, or left to live beside whom? Immortal youth. Immortal age beside immortal youth means age that can't die beside youth that will never grow old. Can you understand this? What does this mean? Age that cannot die. He is continuously aging. Tithonus. He is continuously aging, but he cannot die. Okay, so that is why he is an immortal age. He is immortal, but he is continuously aging. He is old. Beside immortal youth, youth that will never grow old, someone who is forever young. That is whom? That is Eos. So, immortal age was left to reside beside immortal youth. And all I was in ashes. So, everything that I once was lay destroyed. Time beat me so badly, time destroyed me so badly, it sort of tore me into pieces, that all I once was, that was a beautiful, I was a beautiful, charming man, and now I am completely destroyed. Now you can see the blame game. He says, can thy love, thy beauty make amends? He says, can your love for me, your beauty make amends? Make amends means compensate. Can your beauty compensate? Can your beauty compensate for my suffering? Compensate for the pain that has been caused to me because of all of this. Make amends means compensate, or it can also, you can say, it means that to do something uh, in order to, in the form of a regret. If you do something that you truly deeply regret, something of the past, and then you do something else, you perform another action so that you can sort of compensate for it. See, you can write down make amends, can, it means compensate, but I'm giving you the proper the long definition as well. It means to do something for somebody that shows that you are sorry for something bad that you have done before. In easy terms, if I, for example, do something bad to someone and then I regret it, that I did not do this thing that I did was not right. For example, if I beat someone, okay, out of anger, and after some days I feel that this was not the right thing to do, this was not a justified action, the other person did not deserve such a treatment, so then in that case, to make amends would mean that I would do something. For example, I would buy them a gift as a form of apology, in the form of an apology, because I am regretting my action. So that is make amends. Over here, this basically means that Tithonus is asking Eos that can your love, can your beauty compensate in any manner for my suffering? Will my suffering, will my pain, whatever I'm going through, will it be reduced by your love or your beauty? The answer is simple, no. He means to say that your love, your beauty, nothing can uh, reduce my suffering now, because this immortality is like a curse to me. I am suffering from it, and everything else is irrelevant to me now. I desired your beauty, I yearned for your love, but it is useless to me now. I was so excited to live with you, but now everything is useless, and that I do not want to continue living forever. Close over us, the silver, though even now, close over us. Now, this is another idea that has come up, which is a bit dissociated from the earlier idea. Earlier, he is asking her that can your love, can your beauty do something about my suffering? Will it reduce my suffering in any way? Though even now, close over us, the silver star. The silver star is the morning star or Venus. So he says, that even now as we are talking, that even now as I'm talking to you in this very moment, in this present time, close over us, close above us, so above us, the silver star, that is the morning star or Venus,